chaotic, and impoverished, both in our pockets and in our identity. We were taught that to have style, you need to accumulate, that success dresses in novelty. But while the West drowns in the chaos of fast fashion and the anxiety of consumption, Japan guards an ancient secret. Philosophy that allows them to look impeccably elegant, serene, and magnetic while spending a fraction of what you imagine. Today, we are going to decode the secret of the Japanese wardrobe. This is not about fashion. This is about applied psychology, neuroscience, and a spiritual wisdom that will free your space, calm your mind, and save your finances. To understand Japanese style, we first need to talk about the pain that destroys your mornings, exhaustion before the day even begins. In modern psychology, there is a concept called decision fatigue. Every small choice you make consumes a limited quota of your daily mental energy. When you wake up and have to fight against 50 incompatible pieces of clothing, trying to decide who you want to look like today, your brain consumes precious glucose in the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for self-control and focus. You already arrive at work mentally tired just from trying to get dressed. The Japanese solved this through a transformative practice called Danshari. Danshari is frequently confused with Western aesthetic minimalism, but it is much deeper. It was born from yogic detachment and Zen Buddhism. The term is composed of 3 ideograms. Dan, refuse what is unnecessary. Sha, discard what no longer serves you. Ri, free yourself from attachment to objects. In the context of clothing, Danshari does not preach that you live with 3 white t-shirts and a pair of pants. The true practice consists of breaking the psychological umbilical cord that binds us to clothes out of guilt or false projections of the future, like those pants 3 sizes smaller that you keep for when I lose weight, or that uncomfortable coat you bought on sale and never wore but don't throw away because it was expensive. When you apply Danshari, you clear the visual noise. The Western brain is validated here by neuroscience through the concept of cognitive load. Environments and closets saturated with stimuli compete for our visual attention, raising levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. By reducing your closet only to the essentials that fit perfectly and reflect who you are today, you eliminate decision fatigue. Japanese elegance is born from this peace of mind. They don't waste energy choosing clothes because all the pieces they own have already passed through the filter of respect and utility. Fewer choices mean better decisions, more financial intelligence, and a style that looks natural because there is no effort involved. The second modern pain that impoverishes us is the dictatorship of perfection and novelty. We have been conditioned to believe that if a garment fades a little, if a thread comes loose, or if it is from last year's collection, it loses value. We run to buy more to camouflage our own insecurity. In Japan, beauty does not live in the new, the shiny, or the untouched. It lives in Wabi-Sabi. Wabi-Sabi is the acceptance of the transience and imperfection of things. Wabi refers to rustic simplicity, quietness, and the elegance of unadorned nature. Sabi is the beauty that arises with age, natural wear, and the marks of time that show the object has lived. How does this translate into the Japanese wardrobe, and why does it make them spend less while looking more stylish? While the Western consumer buys cheap synthetic fabrics that ruin on the 3rd wash and look vulgar, the Japanese wardrobe is built on natural fibers, heavy cotton, linen that wrinkles with nobility, wool that resists decades. For the Japanese, a pair of lightly wrinkled linen pants or leather boots with signs of wear are not signs of carelessness. They are the pinnacle of sophistication. It is history being told through fabric. Western psychology explains the impact of this through a fascinating theory called enclothed cognition. Scientists discovered that the clothes we wear do not just affect how others see us, but physically alter our own psychological processes. When you wear clothing that embraces the Wabi-Sabi philosophy, something changes in your posture. You don't become obsessed with not wrinkling, not getting dirty, or maintaining a rigid mask of perfection. The psychological comfort of accepting imperfection translates into high self-esteem and authenticity. And here is the great secret of elegance. Personal magnetism does not come from the price tag. It comes from the level of relaxation and confidence of the person wearing the clothes. By adopting Wabi-Sabi, you stop competing with ephemeral trends. You invest in a few high-quality pieces that get more beautiful as they age. You spend less because you buy for life, and your style becomes timeless. There's a third pain that we carry collectively, even without realizing it: the existential emptiness of disposable consumption. We buy a blouse on impulse on Friday, wear it on Saturday, and by Tuesday, it has already lost its charm, becoming just another useless volume. This cycle of quick reward and chronic frustration is fueled by our brain's dopamine circuit, but it destroys our mental and financial health. The Japanese antidote to this engine of dissatisfaction is a word that carries a deep spiritual and ethical weight: Mottainai. Mottainai is an expression that translates the feeling of deep regret in the face of waste. It has roots in traditional Shintoism, the belief that all things, even inanimate objects, possess an essence, a spirit, kami, and deserve to be treated with gratitude and respect. To say Mottainai is to recognize the value of a resource and the effort of the person who created it, refusing to discard it lightly. In the wardrobe, Mottainai radically transforms how we interact with what we wear. It manifests in practices like boro and sashiko, the art of visibly mending fabrics with contrasting threads, transforming a tear into visual poetry, making the piece unique instead of throwing it in the trash. The scientific validation of this in Western psychology lies in studies on the theory of human object attachment and the psychology of gratitude. Harvard researchers have demonstrated that individuals who practice active gratitude and develop connections of care with their belongings report significant higher levels of well-being and lower impulses for compulsive consumption. When you view your clothes through the filter of Mottainai, you stop seeing them as disposable commodities and start seeing them as allies on your journey. You take care of the washing, store them delicately, polish the shoes, fix the zipper that broke. Guess what happens? Your wardrobe lasts for generations. You break the vicious cycle of cheap dopamine from impulse shopping because your desire for novelty is satisfied by caring for what you already possess. Those who practice Mottainai develop an aura of sophistication that money cannot buy. The aura of someone who possesses a history, who respects matter, and who walks through the world with responsibility and dignity. The secret of the Japanese wardrobe, as you have seen, was never about expensive fabrics, designer brands, or following rigid rules from renowned stylists. It is about an internal alignment, deeply and elegantly manifested on the outside. They spend less because they discovered that excess is just a smokescreen to hide the lack of clarity about who we are. They look more stylish because each piece they wear carries the strength of Danshari, the clarity of clean space, the authenticity of Wabi-Sabi, the beauty of lived imperfection, and the dignity of Mottainai, the sacred respect for what protects us from the world. By adopting this wisdom, you are not just changing your look, you are reducing your cognitive load, calming your nervous system, stepping out of the consumer rat race, and shielding your finances against the traps of modern marketing. Starting tomorrow, when you open your closet, don't just ask, what is going to match today? Ask yourself, what is in here that truly respects me, reflects my truth, and brings peace to my mind? Simplify the outer space so that your mind can find immensity on the inside. If this teaching made sense in your life and brought a new perspective to your routine, leave your like. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dives into applied psychology and Oriental wisdom. Share this video with that person who needs a breath of peace and detachment today. See you in the next video. Until then,